Okay. So, Hare Krishna Prabhujis and Matajis. So, welcome to our Chaitanya Charitamrita study class. So, as Prabhuji mentioned just before the class, that today is Advaita Acharya's appearance day. So, I seek blessings from Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, Shiksha Gurus, and all the devotees present here, so that I'll speak the right words, which purifies even for me also. Not only for others, for me also. So, let us start. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे आजानुलम्बितभुजौ कनकावधातौ सङ्कीर्तनैकैपितरौ कमलायताक्षौ विश्वम्भरौ द्विजवरौ युगधर्मपालौ वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरौ करुणावतारौ जयो जयो श्री चैतन्य जयो नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्तवृंद जयो जयो श्री चैतन्य जयो नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्तवृंद जयो जयो श्री चैतन्य जयो नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्तवृंद So, Hare Krishna Prabhujis and Matajis. So today I try to summarize from Madhya Lila, chapter 2, verse number 44 till I thought of 50. So let me see how many verses I can do. Hare Krishna. So as we all know that in last week class, Sripada Mataji has mentioned that how we are materially attached and how we can analyze ourselves, that what sadhana we are doing, whether we are doing in a proper way or not, whether we are I mean explaining to someone or the other whether we are perfecting in our sadhana or not. So see, these are some of the examples actually which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives in his life, that how we are supposed to follow. So that is today's topic, what we are going to see. So I'll just read 3 verses because they have the same theme. After that, I'll just try to explain those verses. So starting from 44 to 47, I'll just read the verses and translation. I'll recite the verses and translation. If at all purport also, I'll just go through it. Okay. Text number 44. एता कही सची सुता श्लोक पड़ा अद्भुत सुने दुहे एका मनाहानाम आपना हृदय काजा कही देवासिया लाजा ताबू कहे लाजा बीज खाना. So thus speaking, the son of Sachimata recited another wonderful verse, and Ramananda Raya and Swarup Damodara heard that verse with rapt attention. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I feel shameful to disclose the activities of my heart. Nonetheless, I shall be done with all formalities and speak from the heart. Please hear. Okay. ना प्रेम गन्धो अस्ति दर्पि मे हरौ क्रन्दामि सौभाग्यभरं प्रकाशितुं वंशी विलासि अनना लोकानां वीणा बिभ्रमि यत् प्राणा पताङ्गकं वृताम्. So this is the verse which was spoken by Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu continued saying that, my dear friends, I have not the slightest tinge of love of Godhead within my heart. So when you see my crying in separation, I am just falsely exhibiting a demonstration of my great fortune. Indeed, not seeing the beautiful face of Krishna playing his flute, I continue to live my life like an insect without purpose. 46th verse. दूरे शुद्ध प्रेमा गंधा कपट प्रेमेरा बंधा सेह मोर नाही कृष्ण पाया ताबे ये करी क्रंदा स्व सौभाग्य प्रख्यापना करी इह जाहि न निश्चय. Translation. Actually, my love for Krishna is far, far away. Whatever I do is actually an exhibition of pseudo love for Godhead. When you see my cry, I am simply falsely demonstrating my great fortune. Please try to understand this beyond a doubt. Coming to the last verse of this section. येतावंसि ध्वनिसुख नादेखे स चान्दमुख यद्यपि नहि क आलम्बनम् निज देह करि प्रीति केवल कामेरा रीति प्राण की तेरा करिया धारणम्. Translation. Even though I do not see the moon-like face of Krishna as he plays on his flute, and although there is no possibility of my meeting him, still I take care of my own body. That is a way of lust. In this way, I maintain my fly-like life. Okay, purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. In this connection, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that the lovable Supreme Lord is the supreme shelter. The Lord is the supreme subject and the devotees are the object. The coming together of the subject and object is called as Alambana. The object hears and the subject plays the flute. That the object cannot see the moon-like face of Krishna and has no eagerness to see him is the sign of being without alambana. Externally imagining such a thing simply satisfies one's lusty desire and thus one lives without purpose. So, in these set of verses which I spoke right now, so the theme is about humility. So, here if you remember from 45th verse to 57th verse, so it explains about the nature of Krishna Prema. So in that particular part, so from 45th verse till 47th verse, so Mahaprabhu exhibits the humility. So that's we are going to see in detail. So here Mahaprabhu says in 47th, 44th verse that I'll recite one more verse because we all know that in Madhya Lila, especially when Mahaprabhu in the past 12 years, Mahaprabhu is only with Swarupa Damodar Goswami and Ramanand Rai. So he's sharing his feelings with Ramanand Raya and Swarup Damodar Goswami. So Mahaprabhu is saying in the 45th verse that I have no slight tinge of love of Godhead within my heart. So when you see me crying in separation, I'm just falsely exhibiting. So in this way, Mahaprabhu will show his humility. So we all know the famous verse from Sikshashtakam which was given by Mahaprabhu that Trinadapi Sunichena Taroravi Saheshnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. So this verse we all know that it speaks about humility. So here Mahaprabhu says that a person who thinks himself lower than the straw in the street, because the more you step on the straw or the grass, it doesn't complain. Again, it stands up. So in the same way, every sadhaka should be humble. That's what Mahaprabhu says. And even taroravi sahishnuna. So we should be tolerant like a tree because tree tolerates in midst summer and even midst of winter, and even if people try to hit whatever they do, the tree doesn't complain. So the same way here Mahaprabhu says that one should be humble. I mean, we should not think that we should get respect from others, but we should offer respect to others. So that's what Mahaprabhu has done, giving as an example. Because if you remember what Lord said in Bhagavad Gita 18.6 is Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Raja. So after saying this particular verse, so after Lord went back to his abode, so Lord thought, okay, so how to make especially the people of Kaliga to understand that Sarvadharman Parityarja Mamekam Sharanam Raja. So Lord came personally so as to exhibit, because we all need sometimes practical examples. Then only we can try to imply in our life. Because Lord is so merciful. That's what Rupa Goswami says. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. So Lord is so merciful. So he wanted to give each and everyone the Krishna Prema. So how to get Krishna Prema? Through his activity. So that's what we can see in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay. So today we are going to we discuss some points about humility. So what is humility? Humility in the sense that humble nature. So that's what we all know. So actually Radhana Swami Maharaj says that humility is the real power. So how we can say that humility is a real power? So for that, very nice example was given by Radhana Swami Maharaj. So it is a real incident which took place. So this took place in Sri Rangakshetra, say where Ramanujacharya belongs. So Ramanujacharya, we all know that Ramanujacharya is the head of Sri Sampradaya. So one of his successor called as Parasara. So in those days, Radhana Swami Maharaj explains that debating was very great because people used to having high knowledge, so they used to debate. So when they used to debate, so once Digvijay Pandit, so he tours all over the world and he wins on everyone and he gets the honor by everyone. So in such a honor he becomes he gets pride instead of being humble knowing about Lord. So he gets pride. So out of pride he tries to chastise everyone. So one day what happened, so when the Digvijay Pandit was traveling in this Rangapuri Kshetra, so on a palanquin which was carried by, you know, palanquin is carried by, and even there were Brahmanas who were chanting hymns in his praise. So that was the glory he was enjoying. So a small boy, just a 5 years old, is called as Parasara. So that boy Parasara, so he came near this Digvijay Pandit and he said to Digvijay Pandit that I want to ask you one question. And when he was asking one question also he was carrying handful of sand. So then he asked Digvijay Pandit that how many sand how many how much number of sand particles are there in this particular sand, so can you please count? So then Digvijay Pandit never, because he never came across such question asked by any others. So he was chastising the small boy who was just 5 years old, saying that, so what kind of question you are asking? And even he also says that just now I can see some milk marks on your lips. I think just now you have drunk milk from your mother and you look like a very small boy. So I mean his concern is that why should I answer such a small boy? So then Parasara gives a very nice explanation saying that why are you concerned on the bodily platform? I'm not the body, I'm the soul. So in that way he will try to answer this Digvijay Pandit. So even further he says that if you are so enlightened, so why don't you answer to me? So because Digvijay Pandit, he is having that what do you say, he feels that he is the most intelligent person. And even Parasara further says that a person who has real knowledge, so he compares to a tree. So a tree who has full fruits, so when you see the tree doesn't stand in a straight form, so it bends because of the power weight of that fruit. And if a, but on the other side, if a tree doesn't bear any fruit, so it stands still because so here Parasara wants to explain saying that what should be the real humility? Real humility is we should serve the Lord or we should surrender to Lord. In that way, we should not chastise others and we should not degrade others. So in that way, Parasara explains to Digvijay Pandit. After that, Parasara throws away that particular sand, saying that your knowledge is a waste knowledge. In that way, he will speak to him. So then this Digvijay Pandit, he will get enlightened by the words which was spoken by Parasara. So after that, Digvijay Pandit, he will accept, I mean, he want to become the disciple of Parasara, and after that, will be accepted as a disciple of Parasara. So in this way, we should try to understand what is the meaning of humility and what could be the core understanding of being humble. And very, very important thing, Mahaprabhu taught us through examples about Vaishnava Sadachar, means Achar and Prachar. If we don't follow and if we just do Prachar, what is the reason? So that is also one of the important thing which Mahaprabhu tells us through his examples, especially in this particular verse also. Because here it is mentioned in the mood of Radharani, Mahaprabhu is saying that I don't have any slight tinge of love of Godhead within my heart. So generally, and further he's saying that when you see the see crying of separation, I'm just falsely exhibiting. So when Mahaprabhu spoke these words actually to Sarupa Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Raya, Sarupa Damodar Goswami says, Mahaprabhu, why are you saying like that? Because everyone knows what who is Mahaprabhu. Okay, so then Mahaprabhu gives a very nice analogy saying that a fish cannot live without water. Okay, so if a fish is living alive means that is because of water. So here Mahaprabhu is saying that, see, even though Krishna, I cannot see the Shyam Sundar form of the Lord, but still I am able to alive. I'm able to be alive. So in this way, he's showing his humility. That I mean, great people, they have a lot of love towards the Lord, but they outwardly exhibit in such a way that they don't have, they are, I mean, in that particular state. And very important thing is that, so when can we get that humility? For example, if our heart is fully filled with some other sense gratificatory work or anything else, so whatever humility we wanted to imbibe within us, so Lord cannot give us unless until, I mean, we give certain space, so that then we can get that particular humility and we can understand the quality of that particular, even in actually, even in Bhagavad Gita also in 13.8, Krishna gives all the qualities. So in one of the qualities, humility. Actually, there in the purport, Prabhupada writes that humility means that one should not be anxious to have the satisfaction of being honored by others. So which is very important. Generally, many people, they think that if they have the knowledge, because along with the knowledge, pride also comes. So they feel that they should be honored by others. If they are not honored, so they feel they have, because they have certain inferiority complex, so they feel that they are um, not honored in a proper way. So we should try to understand what is the real goal. So for whom we are supposed to do, what is the real humility. So we can see through the examples of many great devotees which are mentioned, who are mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay, so one of the just we'll see what are these examples one by one. I have spoken one example which was about Digvijay Pandit. So and even what are the qualities of a Vaishnava? Prabhuji, can someone mute? Hare Krishna.
Sanjay Prabhu.
Okay, so
Okay,
here,
I'm muted.
yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. So, what are the three qualities which a Vaishnava should have? One is compassion, tolerant, and ananya bhava, means one pointed focus. So, if you see, even in Bhagavad Gita, also, Lord says, um, व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिर एके हे कुरुनंदन बहुशाखा अनंतस्य बुद्धयो अव्यवसायिन. So with one pointed attention, we should try to focus on the Lord. So that's what even Lord says to Arjuna. So let us see some of the examples given mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. First, very important example we can say is about Kulavacha Sridhar's humility, because the topic is about humility. So we are going to see how devotees exhibited their humility, not in a pride way, but very in a humble way. So we all know Kolavacha Sridhar was a banana, not a merchant, seller. So every day he used to make leaves from leaves. He used to make bowls and he used to sell. So every day when Mahaprabhu was small, I mean when he was called as Nimai Pandit, so he used to come to Kolavacha Sridhar and he used to argue with Kolavacha Sridhar that you're asking for a higher price, you're not giving for a reasonable price. And at the same time, Mahaprabhu, if someone else would come and ask, I mean, want to purchase that particular bowls, then Mahaprabhu used to chastise them, saying that, see, I'm trying to have a dealing with Kolavacha Sridhar, so why are you interrupting in between? So in that way, Mahaprabhu used to chastise others also. And then Kolavacha Sridhar used to say to Mahaprabhu that, Mahaprabhu, I mean, Nimai Pandit, neither you are buying or nor you are letting others to buy. So in this way, what is the purpose behind? So in that way, there is a beautiful pastime between Kolavacha Sridhar and Mahaprabhu. We all know that Kolavacha Sridhar was a very poor person. So whatever amount he used to earn, he used to keep something, 50% he used to give for Ganga and 50% he used to keep for himself. And the place where he used to stay also, the roof which was full of holes because water used to fall, I mean rainwater used to fall, and he used to have a broken pot in which water was filled. So in that way he led a very poor life, but whatever life he led, he was happy with that. And when Mahaprabhu saw this attitude or the humility of Kolavacha Sridhar, so Mahaprabhu was very satisfied and Mahaprabhu asked, so what I can do for you? Ask anything, whatever you ask, I'm ready to give. So then, after asking many times, Kolavacha Sridhar asked only one benediction, that every time, whenever I come to this material world, I want to, I mean, I should have a connection with you. So in that way, I want to enjoy these particular pastimes. So Mahaprabhu felt very happy. So this is one of the example which we can say that how devotees exhibited their humility. And one more example we can give is about Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami, because we all know that for humility they are the one of the best examples also. When Mahaprabhu, I think for the first time, if I'm not wrong, Mahaprabhu was trying to go to Vrindavan. So he'll go to through Bengal through Ramakeli. So in the place of Ramakeli, so Mahaprabhu meets Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami. So we all know that. So when they went to meet Mahaprabhu, so what did they put? They put grass within their mouth and they went. So not only by, I mean, just by outwardly showing that I'm humble, but inwardly also by their activities also they prove that they are the most humble servant. So even though age wise they are elder to Mahaprabhu, but they considered themselves as the servants of Mahaprabhu and they exhibited in the same way. Even one more pastime also we can see. I think I don't know the particular place, but one more Digvijay Pandit also comes to I mean Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami, and he wanted to have a debate, saying that who is the most knowledgeable person. But Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami, they know very well, and they are the examples for humbleness. So they, without argument only, they accepted that you are the Digvijay Pandit and we don't have much knowledge. So in that way, they try to exhibit their humility, so that I mean we should try to understand from these great personalities that for whom we are supposed to be humble, what should be the main aim of our life. Okay, so actually, so what is humility means? We should always think that Krishna is more important than our false ego. We know that there are two egos. One is the false ego, and the other one is the real ego. So, real ego is thinking that I am the servant of the Lord, and Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. False ego is on the other side thinking that I am the enjoyer. So, in that way, we are not supposed to think. So, we should not allow false ego to come in between us and Lord Krishna. So, how this can happen? Only by the association of devotees. So, we can try to change ourselves, whatever we have. And even in Bhagavad Gita in 9.14, Lord says that Satatam Kirtayanto Mam Yatantascha Drida. So, for Satatam Kirtayanto Ma, so what we have to do, we should be in constant absorption of Krishna. We should try. So whatever is possible, we should try so that we can have connection with the Lord. So, and yesterday we had in our Bhagavatam class Vijay Madhav Prabhuji. So very nice touching point he told. So previously, when I used to cook or do cooking or something seva, so simultaneously I used to hear. Even yesterday Janaki Mataji clarified the same doubt. So, but Vijay Madhav Prabhuji said that after a certain point of time, okay, when you are little more serious, then you have to concentrate more on one thing. Don't focus on two things. Even though both are related to Krishna only, because you are cooking for Krishna at the same time, you're hearing about Krishna's pastimes. But Prabhuji said that you concentrate on particular thing first, then you go for the second one. So in that way, we should try to spend our time mostly for Krishna. So that's what we can say. And further, actually, Mahaprabhu, even though he exhibited humility, but sometimes wherever necessary, he gave lessons so that we can understand. Okay. So in relation to this, we can say that when Mahaprabhu went to Varanasi, we all know that this famous pastime. I think if I'm not wrong, it comes in Madhya Lila only. So in that, when Mahaprabhu was in Varanasi, so Mahaprabhu was thinking, so I came to give Krishna Prema. So no one is ready to accept. Why? Because Mayavada philosophy or Mayavadis were more prominent in those places in Kashi. So then Mahaprabhu once when he was invited, I think from by Prakashananda Saraswati, if I'm not wrong. So then Mahaprabhu, where did he go and sit? He sat in a unclean place where they wash feet and other place. So there Mahaprabhu showed his humbleness. But when Mahaprabhu was given a asana to sit, then Mahaprabhu started giving, the clarification and tried to change the Mayavada philosophers into a great devotee. So in that way, we should try to know where should we be humble. So that's what we can understand. And even there is one more pastime which I heard from Nitesh Sevani Mataji. Um, Actually, there is a great business person in Vrindavan called as Lala Babu. Okay, so we all know that people in the sense, they have a lot of money, so they will be having that pride. But this Lala Babu, after earning a lot of money, so he wanted to become a devotee, or he wanted to accept a guru so that he can become a disciple and he can rest of his life he can flourish in a proper way. So he approaches a guru and he asks a guru, okay, so I want to become your disciple. Then that guru says that, so I want to see your humility or the way how you want to become a disciple. So what he says, go to each and every house and beg. So go for madhukari. So this Lala Babu, he goes to each and every house and he does madhukari. So after few days, so he comes to his guru and he asks his guru, okay, now are you ready to accept me as your disciple? Then the guru says, no, 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 you are not still purified, so I can't accept you as my disciple right now. Then this Lala Babu, he will be contemplating. So what is the reason why my guru, is not ready to accept me? So after contemplating, he will try to understand that I should go and ask Madhukari to such a person who was my enemy previously. So then maybe it may be the right way then maybe my guru may understand me, so and then he may accept me as my disciple. So then he goes to one of his enemy's house. So then when he entered the enemy's house, so the enemy relatives will tell them that Lala Babu came to your house, because they were rivals previously. So then when Lala Babu came in such a position, so then he gave him the arms, so the person whoever is the enemy. So looking knowing about that particular incident, so Guru comes to Lala Baba and say that now be ready, I am ready to accept you as my disciple. So this is what, so they want to see these great examples, want to show the humility. So means for what purpose we should be humble and how we should be humble so that everyone can be enlightened. So these are some of the examples which we can say that how we can be humble. Actually, Mahaprabhu says that a contaminated heart cannot chant the name of the Lord, because what are we have the six anartha dharma, no, sorry, what are the six? The kama, krodha, moha, mada, matsalya. So because of these six anarthas, so we don't have the place when for Krishna to reside in our heart, so that we can chant his name. If unless and until we all know that the nine process, the fourth stage is anartha nivritti. So by associating with the devotees, when start gradually the anarthas which were lined up in our mini janma, so we try to cleanse little by little. So then what happens, the ruchi, nama ruchi takes place, and we start thinking about the Lord and chanting about the Lord. So this is what we can say. And Prabhupada said that knowledge should breed humility. So whatever knowledge we are trying to have, so if it is material knowledge, we cannot say more, because material knowledge is I mean, it's a temporary one, and it belongs to only this particular material world. But when we try to have the spiritual knowledge, because we should always think higher above. uh, so the spiritual knowledge, when we should not be puffed up. We should have humility. So that's what these great examples show to us. And we should always know what to speak and where to speak, so which is very important. So we cannot speak the wrong thing in a right, in that way we should try to understand. So when we come to the examples, as we have seen many examples from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So let us see some of the examples of the present age, what our gurus are doing. Are they showing the real humility? Okay, so we all know that because I always follow our Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Jayapatak Swami Maharaj in Facebook. Other than that, I don't see any other post. So not only in the post, so we all have this Jayapataka Swami app. So every day Maharaj post that today have read this so and so scripture, for example Bhagavatam. So I have completed this, so I have done this. So for what purpose Guru Maharaj and others, even other senior gurus, Prabhupada disciples, other gurus, why they are posting like this? So that is not to show that they have the knowledge. Okay, so they wanted to show the humility, that how they are trying to serve Krishna, in which way they are trying to connect the fallen soul, so that they can come up to that little by little they can grow high. So in that way we can see this. So interact with the persons to see, I mean, actually how can you know that whether a person is having humility or not? So when you interact with that person, so in our language there is a saying, so to check whether the rice is cooked or not, so when you just touch one grain, you can understand that, oh, okay, the whole rice is cooked. No need to check each and every grain. In the same way, when you just interact with the persons, you can understand what kind of humility they are having, and what is the purpose they are trying to give to the people in general, so that they can understand. Okay, if I'm not wrong, we all know about Gaur Gopal Das Prabhuji. He has, I think, in Instagram he has so many followers. So actually one day, one of the show, he was hosted by a show called as, I think, Curly Tales. So in that, I mean, the host, she was saying to Gaur Gopal, I mean, Gaur Gopal Prabhuji, that because of your lessons, so I could try to imbibe in my life, because they try to give us the core understanding, but through some live examples, so that normal people can also understand, and they can um, come up to the core understanding. So this is what I understood about humility, which was spoken in these four verses by Mahaprabhu. So further, okay. So this is about this particular verses. So actually, Ramananda Prabhu told me to speak little about Advaita Acharya also, because Advaita Acharya is also, there is a connection with humility. So I'll stop till 48 and I'll speak, 47. I spoke till 47. Now I'll speak little. I try to glorify Advaita Acharya. So we all know that Advaita Acharya is the combined incarnation of Sadashiva and Mahavishnu. And we know that out of Panchatattva, so Advaita Acharya is also one of the prominent personality. And Advaita Acharya was born to Nabhi Devi and Sri Kubera. So they were the kids. And what is, we all know this details about Advaita Acharya. Just we'll talk about some of the pastimes where Advaita Acharya's humility is shown. Actually, we all know that Advaita Acharya is the god brother of Mahaprabhu's guru, that is Ishwarapuri and Advaita Acharya are god brothers. So Advaita Acharya always wanted to be as a disciple or the servant of Mahaprabhu. But Mahaprabhu always given him that higher position as a guru, which Advaita Acharya never liked. So out of humility, he knows the core understandings, but he used to accept. But always he wanted to be chastised by Mahaprabhu. So in that way, Advaita Acharya was always, he always used to feel. And we know that one of the external reason for Mahaprabhu to advent in this material world is because of Advaita Acharya. So Advaita Acharya every day he used to worship, if I'm not wrong, Narsimha Shaligrama with Tulsi and Ganges water, and he called Krishna to descend into this material world and to enlighten the people of Kali Yuga. So one of the reason. So let us see two pastimes of Mahaprabhu, Advaita Acharya. So we all know that Advaita Acharya was, I mean, was given the position of a guru, which Advaita Acharya didn't like. So once what happened, Advaita Acharya, we all know that he went and he read Mayavadi Bhashya, or the dry speculation. So he was reading about that. So when Mahaprabhu came to know about this, so Mahaprabhu got very angry and he wanted to chastise, because even Advaita Acharya also wanted the same thing. He wanted to be chastised by Mahaprabhu. So when Mahaprabhu came to know about this, he got very angry on Advaita Acharya and he started beating Advaita Acharya. Okay, and when Advaita Acharya was beat by Mahaprabhu, so Sita Thakurani, who was one of the wife of Advaita Acharya, because Advaita Acharya had two wives, one is Sita Thakurani and the other one is Sri, who are the Yogamaya manifestations. So Sita Thakurani, even though she knows this particular part, knows that okay, what is the relation between, so she went and stopped Mahaprabhu, saying that please Mahaprabhu, don't chastise anymore, so in that way he'll be. So when Advaita Acharya was beat by Mahaprabhu, generally if anyone beats, we cry, okay, but Advaita Acharya was very happy. So he wanted to invoke the transcendental angerness of the Lord, because he wanted to see that Mahaprabhu is Lord and I am the servant of the Lord. So in that way, he wanted to be chastised by the Mahaprabhu. So then, actually, by this particular pastime, Advaita Acharya says that it is auspicious to receive punishment from the Lord. So whatever punishment Lord gives, so it is out of love. So that we should try to understand. And even Mahaprabhu, in this particular pastime, Mahaprabhu gave a benediction, saying that benediction that if anyone took shelter of Advaita's lotus feet, even if that is a worm or an insect, or even if the person had committed millions of offense unto Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, yet the Lord will really grant that person his blessings. So that kind of boon you will get if you get the mercy of Advaita Acharya. If I'm not wrong, we always sing this song, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karamore. So in that Narota, I think the writer is Narottam Das Thakur. Uh, if I'm wrong, please correct me after the class. So he sings that Daya Karo Sri Sitapati Advaita Gosai. So in that way, splitting. So please have mercy on me. So in that way, if we pray to Advaita Acharya, so we get the mercy of the Lord. And one more famous pastime, which in our Krishna Katha Desh, KKC kids of Neelachal Chakra, they have enacted. I got the guidance through Ramananda Prabhuji. So Sachi Mata gets the blessings of Advaita Acharya. So it happens in such a way that Advaita Acharya saw Mahaprabhu from his childhood. Advaita Acharya was the teacher. He used to take Bhagavatam classes and Bhagavad Gita classes, and Mahaprabhu's brother, who is Vishwarupa, Vishwarupa, he used to attend. So when Mahaprabhu was small, so he used to take lunch box to uh, to Vishwarupa, so wherever he used to attend in Advaitacharya's house. Okay, so then Mahaprabhu was seen by Advaitacharya. Advaitacharya knows. Okay, so then after a certain age, then when Mahaprabhu's elder brother Vishwarupa left, becoming a sannyasi left. So Sachimata got very angry and she chastised Advaitacharya that because of Advaitacharya only we lost our elder son. So in that way, so then when Advaitacharya was when Sachimata thought in this way, because Lord as Paramatma resides in everyone's heart and he understood Sachimata's intention. So then Advaitacharya, Mahaprabhu wanted to teach even a lesson for his mother also. That's what I understood. If I'm wrong, please correct me. So he wants to give the blessings of Advaitacharya to Sachimata also. So once what happened, so once in the association of Mahaprabhu, once Advaitacharya faints and he falls down. So when Advaitacharya faints and falls down, even Sachimata is also present in that particular place. So then Sachimata taking this as an opportunity because she understood. So she goes and she takes the blessings of Advaitacharya who was in an unconscious state. So after that she'll come. Then Mahaprabhu will say that today Sachimata got the actual, what do you say, actual blessings because she has done a Vaishnava one way. If I am wrong, please correct. If it is not a Vaishnava, but she, thought that Advaitacharya was responsible for her elder son to leave home and go away. So in this way, Advaitacharya was always glorified by Mahaprabhu. And one more instance, what we can say about Advaitacharya is that Advaitacharya had a servant called as Govinda. So, uh, uh, I don't remember that particular servant name. One more person was there.
Kamalakant
Ah,
Mataji.
yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Okay, Kamala Kanta Vishwasu, if I'm not wrong. Yes, Kamala Kanta Vishwasu. Actually, Kamala Kanta Vishwasu writes a letter to Pratap Rudra saying that Advaita Acharya has taken some, I think if I'm not wrong, some 300 rupees of debt and he is unable to pay that. So that particular letter was to be given to Pratap Rudra through Govinda, if I'm not wrong. So Govinda, before going to Prataprudra, he will bring that letter. He will come and take the blessings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Mahaprabhu asks Govinda, "What is that in your hand?" So then he shows that letter. Then looking at that letter, Mahaprabhu gets very angry because Advaita Acharya is Lord, and it is mentioned there as that it is Daridra Narayana. So I don't know in detail, but it is mentioned. So then Mahaprabhu gets very angry and he chastises that who is Daridra Narayana? Lord is always opulent. He is not a Daridra. So in that way, Kamalakanta Vishwasu will be chastised by Mahaprabhu because Mahaprabhu knows about Advaita Acharya. What is the position of Advaita Acharya? So he cannot be chastised. So a person who doesn't have knowledge, so if he chastises, okay, one way, but unknowingly, if you chastise a correct person, that is not the right way. So that's what Mahaprabhu says through these particular examples that we are not supposed to. So these are some of the two pastimes which I could remember before this class. So these pastime shows the glory of Advaita Acharya. So what kind of a person he is who came to this material world so that to enlighten people like us. So as Advaita Acharya had humility, in the same way others also from these examples we can see that they had humility. So just in conclusion, I want to say one thing. See, in general, we all know that humility means real ego, and the other one, some people they may have inferiority complex also. So inferiority complex, there is a difference between the inferiority complex and humility means where the false ego is rejected, so we won't stay on the false ego, so we are always on the platform of real ego. But on the other side, what is inferiority complex? Inferiority complex is the false ego. What is that? we have the higher, we are based upon the false ego, that because when we are not respected by others, our inferiority complex increases. But on the other side, if you are having the real knowledge, then even though you have knowledge, you will always be on the uh, earth. They say that down to earth, you won't never try to express yourself, but by your actions other people can understand. So this is what I can say about Advaita Acharya and related to humility. So whatever I have understood from my small understanding, I try to express it. So if any mistakes I have done, so please correct me. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Ramananda Kanai Prabhu. And one more important thing, I should thank Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, because other than Chaitanya Subodhini, if it is not there, I would have not tried to attempt this particular class. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Thanks for covering nicely the points and the most important quality of Vaishnava, to have the humility, is topmost quality Vaishnava should have. A question to all is, actually, since I was taking this Nectar of Devotion for Bhakti Shastri last few weeks, this topic has come somehow for the discussion. Humility is not one of the 64 limbs of devotional service which Rupa Goswami has prescribed in Nectar of Devotion in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So the question is, when it is not part of 64 items listed, 64 items, they're all for sadhakas, for those who are doing practicing Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, they must do or avoid the 64 items listed. Humility is not listed as one of the limb. So then question is, why one should have the humility, or how one, whether one should really practice to develop humility, or what is the process? I want to hear from devotees. Start from Sacipremi Mataji.
Prabhu, no answer from me, Prabhuji.
No, try. This is just brainstorming.
Okay, let others answer. Let others answer. In the meantime,
hope you understand the question, Mataji. I understand the question.
Yeah, I understood the question.
It is not listed in the 64 limbs. Then how a devotee should practice, whether really he should practice separately humility. Because we understand that humility is most important quality for a sadhaka from your class. And we saw the examples of Ramanandacharya's, the disciple Parashara's one, and also Kolvechas Sridhar, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and Advaita Acharya, the topmost humble person. So now question is, we need to do anything separately to develop humility, like a humility development course? Any such things are there in ISKCON wherein develop humility? So what one should do? What is the process of developing humility? Yes, I think a few hands are raised. Prabhu, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Very nice question you asked, basically. Now, when Mataji has explained that the Prabhupada has told that humility is that how we should not be anxious, how we have been received by someone else. So this is the key in there. Now, the 64 qualities which has been told, that was for the sadhakas. And now humility is the things which is the key or foundation to become a sadhaka. If we don't have a humility, we are not sadhaka. When we are not sadhaka, the 64 qualities are not implicated on us. To become a devotee, you have to be humble. If we are not humble, we are not devotee. So the 64 quality will come later on. The first humbleness should be there. If humbleness is there, little faith is there, determination is there, then only we will start becoming a sadhaka.
Prabhu, I have one question to you. Yes. When you are developing a Bhakti Vriksha member,
yes, Prabhu.
Are you starting a course of humility to him? First you become a humble, then I'll start teaching about Bhakti Ruksha or Bhagavad Gita. So are we taking a separate course for them?
No, humbleness is teached by our action. You cannot teach somebody with the separately telling, because action speaks more louder than the words. So we have to show that. Prabhupada in the South, in America, he did not tell them to be humble, how to sing, he shows his compassion and humbleness. He used to wash their utenils when they have to eat and go there back. So similarly, that humbleness is by the actions, not by the words. You cannot teach anyone, and they follow, and it comes in that one. And so that our action should be that shows them to this we are how to be humble. And then of course the third Shikshastakam, our shloka itself to how to be humble. So that is the point.
Thank you, Prabhu. Gopal Prabhu.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, as per what I heard, what I learned from all senior devotees and from all other people, I have found, I think that when we follow all the 64 limbs properly, automatically humility will develop, because as Mataji told, humility is nothing but the real ego, and it is very difficult to overcome our false ego. So unless until the sadhaka follows all the 64 limbs properly, he cannot have capacity to overcome that false ego, because when we see the false ego is the highest, curvature when we leave this material world. So it has the highest strength to bring down the sadhaka down. So if a devotee follows he practices the sadhana bhakti very properly and follows all the rules and regulations told by the senior devotees or our guru, so humanity will be automatically developed. This is a byproduct of our sadhana. We cannot bring humility or we cannot teach humility. It should be developed within. It should come within. This is my opinion, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So now we have two different opinions. Darshan Prabhu said that humility is first, then only devotion, 64 limbs. And here C.H. Prabhu said, do the devotion, humility comes out by itself. Now I want to hear from third person. Anybody else? We have so many devotees, exalted devotees in this forum. I want please open up. Hare Krishna
Prabhu. Prabhu, I think both works parallelly, Prabhu. Like unless we are humble, we can't do pure bhakti. Or I'm not able to express how to say.
So you want to take a neutral way, neither this side nor that side.
Like if we are not humble, we cannot exhibit pure bhakti. That is the one.
Then how one gets humbleness? That is a whole question. Because the point is Prabhu. That Udasham Prabhu said first we have to be humble. There are only 64 limbs you can practice. Yeah, from one perspective, he's right. And from other perspective, what C.H. Prabhu is saying, that's also right. So what is your view? It cannot be in between, either this or that.
No, like Prabhu, humbleness, when we exhibit bhakti, then what Prabhu said before, automatically it will come. It's true. But we have to, externally also, we have to try for it. We have to pray to Krishna to become humble. Because humbleness, it's the one big quality which every devotee should have. But unless we are in the pure devotional service, we can't be humble actually.
How to develop that? Just by doing pure devotions. What is a pure devotional service definition here? Offering to Bhoga to Lord, doing deity worship. What exactly are readings with Bhagavatam? You said by doing pure devotional service, one gets
Prabhu. Pure devotional service means that stage should come. One should not hanker for material prosperity or material happiness. Everything should be done for the pleasure of Krishna. That is actually the definition of pure devotee. And what we are doing, that is only sadhana bhakti. So that stage should come. Then only we will be more humble. But in this stage, even we should try to be humble. Means I am saying means we should not wait. We should not wait that that when I will do the pure devotional service, maybe after a long time, that time my humbleness will come. Not like that. Of course, it will come whenever you are doing the bhakti. Slowly, gradually, you will be in that mood, in that stage. But you should try externally also. You should not think that, okay, it will come automatically. So I am not a pure devotee now. So I should not be humble now. Not like that. You have to think like that, and you have to practice also pure devotion, that humbleness. That is my opinion, bro.
Thank you, Mataji. Mataji, want to hear
Prabhuji,
the fourth version?
One question.
Birgishma, you also had some. CS Prabhu?
Yes.
Prabhuji, what is the difference between? I think there is a difference between humbleness and humility. Is it like that? I don't miss. Can you please reflect on this? Means what we call humbleness and humility in Sanskrit or Hindi. How we can express that? Humility is daya. Humbleness is humbleness is not daya. It is how we should pretend.
Vinamrata. Humbleness means vinamrata.
So there is a little bit difference in humbleness and humility, because daya means when we, miss my opinion, when the humility.
What is daya, Prabhu, here? What is daya here?
Daya is when we see some.
No, for which word you are translating as daya?
Humility.
Prabhu, daya means mercy, Prabhu. Daya means
Mercy.
mercy. Yeah, correct. No, but when we see someone, others are in this material world, they are not, coming up in devotional service, then the humility comes out of the heart for them. But humbleness is something different. When we see someone, we feel, no, I am not that capable, so I should keep myself down. That is the humbleness. But humility is something little bit higher than humbleness. I'm confused, Prabhuji. Please reflect, Prabhuji.
Okay, we'll try to hear from others also, then we'll discuss on that. Birgish Prabhu, you had something to share before we go to
Yes, Prabhuji. So actually 64 qualities of a devotee, in that humility is there. But when you talk about to the 64 limbs of bhakti, so as you said, you are referring to 64 limbs of bhakti. So, and actually, if we associate with a devotee who is very humble, who has humility, then we can develop these qualities. So this is my understanding.
Thank you, Prabhu. Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Pranams.
Final touch.
Prabhu, in continuation to Bir Krishna Prabhu, actually the discussion is all interlinked. This is what my understanding. 64 qualities, what are the listed in a nectar of devotion?
Qualities, limbs.
Limbs. Actually, all are dependent on this humility. We can say it is a foundation. And that Prabhuji asked how Hare Krishna mantra, by doing Hare Krishna mantra, we will develop. By doing Hare Krishna mantra sincerely and without offenses, the process of Chetodarpanamarjanam will happen. So once this process, the Chetodarpanamarjanam happens, the living entity starts understanding his real position. So obviously, what is the real position? Jivera Swarupavai Krishna Nityadasa. So what is the quality of a dasa? Dasa is humility. Humility is the quality, and the quality is expressed through humbleness. This is my understanding, Prabhuji. So once we started realizing our real nature, automatically this quality comes. And as Anangamanjari Mataji said, so this process will take little bit time. See, Chetodarpanamarjanam or Anardha Nivritti and all, it is not a overnight process. So, but we have to inculcate this quality externally also. We see, na, our devotees, there's so many devotees we see. Mataji, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Prana, you are so wonderful, that, this. Then immediately, that is for formality sake. Back and all what they speak, that is another issue. But externally also, but one day, once you realize your original nature, definitely that humbleness automatically will come, Prabhuji. That will happen by the offenseless chanting. Please correct me or add, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thanks for nice explanation. Mataji, can you also throw some light on the question asked by Kriyesh Prabhu? Humbleness versus humility. What is your...
Humble, that's what, Prabhuji. Humility is a quality. And that will be exhibited through humbleness. Okay, if you are so much, you are, how you will show your humility? You will show through you be humble. This is what my understanding is.
Thank you, Mataji. To summarize the points, all the points, actually, humbleness is not a separate limb of devotional service. And at the end of discussion of all the 64 limbs, Srila Rupa Goswami highlights that in Bhaktiratham Sindhu, he says that the good qualities like either cleanliness, we saw so many qualities of a devotees, saucham and daya, all these qualities, and one of that is again humility. All these good qualities, they are not actually the limbs of bhakti, but by practicing bhakti, these good qualities will automatically sprout. So that is why it is called sadhana bhakti. Sadhana, when we start, we don't have any attraction, we don't have any love, so we don't have anything. Somebody is holding a stick and say, do this, get up morning, do chanting, do deity worship. So out of force, out of compulsion, we do this. When we start doing it continuously, we move to the stage of raganuga. So then that time, no stick. Stick is in our heart. Stick means like no push from somebody. We get pushed by ourselves, saying, oh, I have to get up, I have to do this. That is spontaneous, not love. Spontaneous devotional service, devotional practice. So there also no love, but we do spontaneously. As we continue to do this, the whole process, we may reach bhava and prema finally. But the one thing which is there common at every step, right from Shraddha to prema, is sadhu sangha. So the real humility of a person, of a devotee, is developed only when we do menial service to the devotees, other devotees. That is where the real humility. Otherwise, why the humility factor at all is being discussed? Because we have a misconception that I am this body, or I am superior, I am this, I am that. External, because we get attached to the external designations of the body. So because of that, we develop that superiority complex and feel myself separate or higher than others. So that factor itself we should kill. How to kill that? We have to serve, do menial service to pure devotees. So as we see the sadhu sangha, why sadhu sangha is required at every stage, right from Shraddha to prema, because sadhu sangha is the one which makes us to get rid of all these anarthas, including the pride. When the pride is removed, we become humble, and the humility will remain with us till we reach prema stage. So to summarize this, humility, as Mataji rightly differentiated between humbleness and humility. Sriyesh Prabhu, this is again for information. Humility is a quality to express our state, or to feel about my own state. I feel when I'm having a humbleness as a nature, when I express that through my actions, that is humility. It is a feeling about myself. That is a humility. So to again summarize this, none of these good qualities, Rupa Goswami mentions in 1.2.260 of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he says that none of the good qualities are angas of bhakti, angas of pure devotional service. But see, if you see, for example, I'll give one example. Like suppose one of the good qualities is that vegetarian. Rupa Goswami gives, Prabhupada gives this example very clearly. Being a vegetarian doesn't mean that he is a pure devotee. Same way, being a cleanliness is one of the good quality, and being a humble is a good quality. When we have this good quality, it doesn't mean that we are devotees. But when we are devotees, means that these qualities come automatically. So it means that we don't have to do any separate course of being a clean or being humble. All these good qualities, there is no separate course. If you see in our ISKCON, we don't have, we never focus on how to become humble. There is no separate course for that. When we are engaged in devotional service, doing this 64 angas, anyone, not even 64 angas, even one of these, if you take up sincerely, like a Prabhupada gives example of offer a flower every day to the lotus feet of the Lord. You take, that I'll offer one flower with love and devotion to Lord every day, lifelong. You don't do all other 63, because offering flower to Lord is one of the anga of devotional service. So offer one anga you do systematically, that develops all other 63 will come in place, fall in line. All these good qualities, Rupa Goswami mentions that a devotee need not practice anything but Krishna consciousness. All the good qualities of devatas, Prabhupada mentions here, all good qualities of devatas automatically develop in a devotee. So, example for Prabhupada uses non-violence and all these things. So, being a non-violent doesn't mean a devotee, but being a devotee means he is a non-violent, because that is not a separate quality which we are developing. Similarly, humility is one like that. We don't have to develop that, but it becomes way of our life. When we start serving devotees and practicing other angas, automatically this one will be developed. So hope this puts the discussion to rest. This is clear for everyone.
Prabhuji, just I want to add and I want to ask you one thing, Prabhu. So that's what they say to do Dandavat Pranam also, so that our false ego will reduce and will be humble. I think Raghunath Das Goswami has set an example for this, if I'm not wrong, that he used to pay obeisances for each and every one. Am I correct, Prabhu? So in that
Yes,
way,
Mataji.
he also exhibited his humbleness in that way.
He used to offer, I think, 1,000 to 2,000 dandavats every day.
1,000 Dandavats every day, yes.
Every day. Yeah. So
So
that is, that again, we have to follow the footsteps, not to imitating, like we also start following 1,000 dandavats, we'll fall sick, nothing happens. We'll not develop that humility internally. Thank you, Mataji. Thanks for adding this.
yes.
So thank you, Mataji. Thanks for a wonderful class and bringing a nice point for a discussion also. So, do you have any questions, comments from others on the today's session before we end the class? Sorry, already we are very late. And next week we are going to hear from Anangamanjari Mataji. Mataji, can you please confirm? Mataji is there but not there. Okay, so we'll ask her separately. So thank you very much, all the devotees, for attending this session, and request all to please encourage other members to attend. Those whom you know that they are the members but not attending, and those who you feel that they are interested to attend these classes, please encourage them, other members also. This will end the session here. Mataji, can please glorify Chaitanya Charitamrita before we end.
Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami.